Hi and welcome to T10 Info TV SK channel. My name is Syed and here I am with the updated news for Wednesday 31st May 2023. Clashes as China's Muslim protest to save 13th century mosque. Protesters have clashed with large number of police over the planned demolition of a mosque dome in a largely Muslim town in Yunnan, China. Social media videos showed crowds outside the 13th century Najuying Mosque in Nagu town on Saturday. Scuffles broke out between police and locals, who were hemmed in by hundreds of armed officers. Yunnan, an ethnically diverse province in southern China, has a significant Muslim population. China is officially atheist and the government say it allows religious freedom, but observers say there has been an increased crackdown on organized religion in recent years, with Beijing seeking greater control. Rescue group says Malta coordinated the return of 500 migrants to Libya instead of saving them. A group of non-governmental organizations dedicated to rescuing migrants in the central Mediterranean in accusing the European island nation of Malta of coordinating the return of around 500 people to Libya where they were subsequently imprisoned in violation of international maritime law. The group of migrants, which includes 55 children and pregnant women, had been trying to reach Europe on May 23 aboard Rusty Iron fishing vessel when they reported to Alarm, a hotline for migrants in distress, that they were adrift and taking in water, the NGO said in a statement. People smugglers have increasingly packed migrants and refugees into old and dangerous fishing vessels that set out from Libya to Italy or Malta. Migrants aboard the vessel shared their GPS location with alarm phone showing they were in international water in an area of the Mediterranean where Malta is responsible for search and rescue. Despite repeated requests for help sent to Maltese authorities, the migrants were reportedly taken back to Benghazi in eastern Libya 3 days later, alarm phone said, citing relatives of the migrants. Indonesia looks for greater commerce with Saudi's largest firm. Indonesia is looking for greater commerce with big business in Saudi Arabia, its trade minister said on Tuesday as Jakarta hosted a bilateral business forum. Trade between the Southeast Asian nation and the kingdom has been on the rise, increasingly by about 45% to $7 billion between January and November last year compared to the same period in the previous year. But the figure are still less than the aspiration of Indonesia, the biggest economy in the Association of Southeast Asian Nation, which is seeking a boost in trade ties with the kingdom and also greater presence in the Middle East. 5 Greek border police accused of smuggling migrants. 5 men appeared before a prosecutor in northeastern city of Oristeda. Thousands of migrants, mainly from Syria, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, have in recent years crossed into Greece from Turkey in the hope of making it to Western Europe. South Korea, Australia agreed to set up defense cooperation. South Korea and Australia defense chief agreed on Tuesday to set up defense cooperation, South Korea defense minister said. Korean Defense Minister Lee Jong-sup met his Australian counterpart Richard Marles on the sideline of the inaugural South Korea Pacific Island Summit in Seoul. Lee expressed the South Korean military willingness to join the Indo-Pacific Endeavour, an Australian-led multinational military drill, as well as Operation Render Safe activities by the Australian Defence Force to remove underwater mines in the Pacific. The two countries agreed to hold working-level meetings as part of steps to revise a Memorandum of Understanding signed in 2011 aimed at enhancing defence industry cooperation. At least 10 dead, 55 injured as bus of Hindu pilgrims falls into gorge in Indian-controlled Kashmir. A bus carrying Hindu pilgrims to a shrine in Indian-controlled Kashmir skid off a highway bridge into a Himalayan gorge on Tuesday, killing at least 10 people and injured 55 as per police said. The bus was on way to Katra town from the northern state of Punjab Amritsar city when it fell into the gorge near Jammu city, police said. Local police officer Chandan Kohli told reporters that the bus was overloaded. He said the dead were from India's eastern Bihar state. Residents and authorities rushed to the accident spot and launched a rescue operation. The injured have been hospitalized. China to send its first civilian astronaut into space. China will send its first civilian astronaut into space as part of a crewed mission to the Tiangong space station on Tuesday, according to officials. Gui Haikou, a payload expert, will take off from the Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in northwest China on Tuesday at 9:31 am local time, the China Managed Space Agency said on Monday. Indian airline Go First now cancels all scheduled flights till January 4. Crisis hit Go First airline on Tuesday, May 30, informed that its scheduled flight operation will remain cancelled till June 4, adding that a full refund will be issued to the passengers. China declines meeting with US defense chief. Beijing has declined a US invitation for a meeting in Singapore between Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and his Chinese counterpart Li Shunfu, the Pentagon said. Overnight, the PRC informed the US that they have declined our early May invitation for Secretary Austin to meet with PRC Minister of National Defense Li Shunfu in Singapore this week. Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder said on Monday in a statement referring to the People Republic of China. Malaysia searches Chinese ship suspected of looting World War II wrecks. Malaysia's Coast Guard said on May 30, authorities were questioning the crew of a Chinese vessel detained on suspicion of looting two British World War II shipwrecks. Officers discovered unexploded shell upon boarding the Chinese registered vessel, which was detained for illegal anchorage at the weekend, said Nurul Hizam Zakaria, Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency chief in Johor State. India extends $1 billion credit line to Sri Lanka by another year. India on May 30 extended its $1 billion credit line to Sri Lanka by another year to help the island nation hit hard by an unprecedented economic crisis procure much needed food, medicine, and other essential items. An arrangement was signed between the State Bank of India and the Sri Lankan government for $1 billion credit facility in March last year. India extended the credit line to Sri Lanka at the height of the country's economic crisis. India to host SCO summit virtually. India is all set to host Shanghai Cooperation Organization Council of Head of State on July 4, 2023. The Minister of External Affairs on Tuesday announced that the 22nd summit of SCO will be held in virtual format. However, it did not provide specific reason for the decision to hold the summit virtually. Under India's first ever chairmanship, the 22nd summit of the SCO Council of Heads of State will be held in the virtual format on July 4, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the MEA said in a statement. People familiar with the matter said the option of holding the summit in the virtual format was on the table considering various aspects, and a final decision on it was taken following consultation with the member states. South Africa grants Vladimir Putin other Russian officials diplomatic immunity for BRICS summit. South African government has granted diplomatic immunity to all international participants including Russian President Vladimir Putin and other Russian officials at BRICS related events to be held in the country, local media reported. The immunities and privileges in terms of the United Nations Convention grant immunity from personal arrest or detention. A gazetted notice was issued by the International Relations and Cooperation Minister Naledi Pandor for the Diplomatic Immunity and Privileges Act to be granted to all international officials at BRICS related to events in the country, according to the Daily Maverick, a South African-based publication. Boeing in talks to sell 150 aircraft to Riyadh Air. American aircraft manufacturer Boeing is in talk to sell at least 150 737 MAX aircraft to the new Riyadh Air, as it will be its second major deal in Saudi Arabia during 2023, local media reported. The new airline owned by the Saudi Sovereign Fund is seeking to buy about 300 to 400 single-aisle aircraft including other options. Bloomberg cited source the talks are complex as the timing and structure of the aircraft are subject to constant change and Airbus SE can claim part of the deal. Kuwait open to negotiate on Philippines visa ban if demands met. Kuwait is open to negotiation with the Philippines on the visa ban for Filipino citizens if Manila accepts its demand, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Mansour Al-Utaibi said. Earlier this month, Kuwait stopped issuing all type of work and entry visas to Filipinos after the Philippines failed to comply with the labor agreement. Kuwait said there were many employment violations at the Philippine embassy, including housing workers in shelters, searching for fugitives without involving state institutions, communicating with Kuwaiti citizens without permission from the authorities, and pressuring employers to add clause to work contract. The demands include recognition by the Philippines for violating Kuwaiti's law and the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations through the practice of its embassy in the country. The embassy must also pledge not to repeat its violation and that those responsible for this violation will be held accountable, as per Kuwait news agency quoted Al-Utaibi as saying on Sunday. That's all in today's headlines. Thanks for watching. If you want to receive more important headlines around the world, keep watching T10 Info TV SK channel by subscribing and hit the bell icon to receive notification.